socks are off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. I dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my sticks got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 7.5. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Move it low, we fly that flow. Grab that gap, no time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll, funk and control. Bounce that wall, we fly it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. I don't know why I just did that so weird. What's up? It's Friday. You were just watching Gyro Flow stabilized 2-inch baby turtle 04 Pro footage. This little fella was having a hard time in the wind in Florida, and I've heard that Gyro Flow doesn't really work all that well on 04 Pro. I think they used a really sensitive gyro on it. And so if you've soft mounted the camera, it apparently works. But that when you soft mount these cameras, it can cause jello, which Gyro Flow is not going to do a good job getting rid of. When you hard mount the cameras, you don't get jello, but you get some other stuff. Gyro Flow did a fantastic job. I ran 3 or 4 files through it. One of the files it really struggled on. The other 3 files it did a really good job with. You were just watching one of them. Here comes one of the other ones, just for the sake of kind of looking at it. Is this already playing? Is that it already playing? Wait a second. Did it play 03? Why did it go to 03? That's weird. The program that I use to play video files is Inna, and it was just being very strange. Here's one of the other ones. Let me do this. I can put these back to back. Ready? So if I go like this is the stabilized one. Stabilized is going to be on your left. Not stabilized is going to be on the right. And so let me pull this over here. Cool. Not stabilized on the right, stabilized on the left. Let me just pull these guys roughly to center. Roughly to center. Oh, well, yeah, when it stabilizes, it doesn't have to, but typically you set it to go to 16:9 so that it can use the vertical instead of zooming in. And so that's what you've kind of seen here. All right, let me see how quick I can click. Well, let's do this. 1/1000. All right, so I'm going to click this one first, and then I'll click that one. 1, 2. That should be pretty even. Hey, look at that. So here you go. Here's stabilized on the left in 16:9, non-stabilized on the right. This is a sub 250G Baby Turtle Pro with an 04 light on board, regular lens, no ND filter. This is like bright, 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 middle of the day, no clouds whatsoever. Worst possible case scenario for the 04 light with no ND filter. We've got the Flywoo AIO, and then we've got RC and Power. They're 1003 10,000s with Gemfan 2023S propellers. Really good power. A total blast to fly. BT 3.0. I don't remember if this was a 300 mAh battery or a 450 mAh battery. There you can see the wind. When I run this on a 450 mAh battery, it does behave a little bit better. It likes the extra weight. I am actually going to be stepping this thing up to some bigger motors. I'm going to see what 1202.5 motors will do. Right now it's on 1003. We're going up to 1202.5 to try to get a little bit more power. One of so you're seeing a little bit of jello here and there, but the big thing that you're seeing here is just the wind hitting it like really hard, like the wind just hammering on this thing. And so there's not a whole lot you can do about that. One of the things you can do is to go to a bi-blade, and then you've got 4 less blades total for the wind to grab onto and make this thing wiggle around. The other thing you can do is add power. By adding power, it's going to be able to push against the wind quicker. It's going to have more, it's going to have better response time so that it can more quickly push against the wind. I like the way this thing flies on the tri-blades. So, and I do have it on motor plugs. So I'm going to try to see if I can get it to perform a little bit better by adding a little bit of power. What I'm afraid of is that by adding power, I'm going to lose runtime, and the runtime is like kind of perfect right now. So we'll see. I have a set of Happy Model 1202.5 motors on the way. I would love to have gotten the RC and Power 1202.5s, but they're out of stock everywhere. The HDLRC 1202.5s are also out of stock everywhere. So I didn't really have many choices, so I got what I could. I had to do a quick order last night for another one of these Acon 60 amp AIOs for the 3.5-inch build here. And while I was at it, I figured I would get some tiny whoop motors to continue the testing. One other thing that I've realized that I think I want to test is the HD0 Gamma 45 amp AIO. So if you would like to see me test that AIO, you can help me make that happen. I'm going to put that's going to be the AIO that I replace the Tune RC poly that caught on fire on my frame on this trip actually with. I've heard from a couple of people that when they run the Tune RC poly on 4S, it's rated from 2 to 4S. Apparently when you run it on 4S, you're asking too much for it. Mine blew up, right? It just caught fire. It was after a crash. It was sitting on the ground. I turtle moded it back over gently. I disarmed it, and then it just caught on fire. The motor did cook, though. These are these Oddity RC Spinny Boy 1504 motors. This motor that was hooked up to that channel is all burned. So there's a chance that the motor let go, and then it shorted, and that's what blew up this channel on the FET. There's a chance that this FET blew up, and then that lit the motor on fire, basically. There's really no way of telling. But yeah, I've heard from a bunch of people that the Tune RC poly is not great when you really push it hard on 4S. The HD0 Gamma, I think it's rated up to 6S. I could be wrong, but it's hard to find an AIO with ELRS built in. I don't want to run an external. Wait a second. Does this? I have an external ELRS on this. Well, that makes it a lot easier. Hold on. Is the HD0 Gamma for this, or is it for the other? I forget. Hold on. I left the tab open to remind myself. Maybe the Gamma is the... No, yeah, the Gamma is the 4S one. Yeah, this will be really nice. It'll allow me to take the ELRS receiver out of the back of this thing, which is really nice. It doesn't really fit all that well back there. It's kind of crammed in the rear. So yeah, it'll save a little bit of weight, save a little bit of complexity, and it's new. Like the HD0 has been making electronics over the last year, like AIOs and flight controllers and ESCs, and they've been really, really good. And so I'm interested to try it. $90 is also not that bad. That's a pretty good price for a flight controller, ESC, and ELRS. So yeah, this is what that would be for. If you want to see my frame get back up in the air sooner than later, you can donate to that fund, and yeah, we'll get this thing rebuilt. But for now, it's just gotta sit on the shelf because I don't have any other AIOs that I can put into that. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at overpropped versus underpropped. This is the Mobula 6 2024 V2 with the motor plugs on the old Crazy G AIO. I moved this guy over to a Meteor 65 Pro frame, which swings 1.4 inch propellers. And I put it on the Weebleed 0702 32,500 kV screamers with the 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, so that I could try these brand new HQ ultralight tri-blade 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, 1.4 inch propellers. I've also got the same exact frame with the same exact motors with a 1 millimeter motor shaft, which allows me to run the Gemfan bi-blades. Unfortunately, there is not a 1.5 mil motor shaft, 1.4 inch bi-blade. There are only these tri-blades. I've been meaning to... I'll kind of bury the lead a little bit here. This is overpropped. These propellers are too big, too heavy, too draggy for an 0702 motor. And we're going to get to see that, hopefully. We're going to get to see it from the RPM readout. Hopefully you'll get to see it by the way that it flies, how quick it is when I'm hammering on the sticks, especially on yaw. And then you can hopefully take that experience back and figure out if you've got rigs that are over and or underpropped. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. I got a bunch of batteries on the charger right now. I've got Lava V2 280s and 320s, both charging. We will run probably 4 batteries on this, 2 and 2, as it sits, and then we'll frame swap it into this, and then we'll run 4 more batteries, so you'll get to see the before and the after, and then I'm pretty much going to leave it on this setup. At some point, I will, well, yeah, I don't know. I might leave this motor and propeller combo in this frame. I might take it out of here because at some point I'm going to do a Weebleed order, and they've now got the GemFan 1219s in 1.5mm motor shaft. And so these motors, I have a feeling, will find their way into a regular frame, a regular 1.2-inch prop frame, so that I can run those new GemFan 1219s, and that'll be like an ultra durable basher build. The background noise is the 3D printer hammering away. Tonight's live stream was supposed to be it was supposed to be me finishing this AOS Cine 3.0, but I don't have the 3D printed stuff that I need quite yet. Over on my Discord, I put a post in the 3D printing text channel asking if any of you CAD geniuses could spare a couple of minutes to modify a few files. And 2 of them, OK Amit has been helping me out, but I'm trying to explain this mount that I want to be 45 degrees, and he's asking me to take a picture, which is totally fine. But yeah, I didn't have everything that I needed to get this totally finished up, so I said, you know what, I've had these sitting here for a while. Let's just dive into that, and then I can kind of finish this up. It's pretty much done. I've got everything soldered up. This here is going to go to the 04 Pro. I don't need this cable anymore. I will save this. And then the 04 Pro camera is going to go into one of these mounts here that I found on Thingiverse. That I only have one of the mounts right now. I think the other one is literally being printed right now. So this mount will go like that, and it's got a raised circle bit there, and then that slots in here. So these 2 guys go together like that, and then you put a screw in from the outside. You put a nut in on the inside, and that's what lets it rotate in the little front piece. I'm assuming that they go outside, inside. There's also some carbon fiber bits that these come with that I'm assuming are going to strengthen this up a little bit. Yeah, there's like a big gap there, but I assume it's going to sit something like that. Yeah, look at that. It's a little wobbly in there without the carbon fiber, but that's how it's going to kind of sit. This is actually the bottom plate. This sits on the bottom. Look at how the antennas are, right? And so this guy drops down like that. And there's some stuff in the way at the moment, but there we go. So that's what it looks like. It's a very awkward looking build. It looks very, very weird. It's got this huge circle on the top, which I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried that this circle of material is going to block a lot of thrust, right? Like, if you look at where you're pulling thrust through, you've got this standoff in the way, you've got this standoff in the way, you've got this in the way, and this in the way. Luckily, on the bottom, it's totally free and clear. There's no obstructions on the bottom. But, like, if we compare that to the old AOS, which is just mind-blowingly fragile, right? Like, this is... You cannot even consider crashing this. This is going to be a lot more efficient because we've only got these 2 here. But, again, like, the way that this is built, it just... Yeah, if you land it hard, it's going to break the bottom carbon fiber. So, yeah, I don't know. That's the AOS Cine 3.0 is swinging a much bigger 3-inch prop. And so, hopefully, that will that will carry enough extra efficiency. We'll find out. Once I have this 3.0 done, I'm going to dive into the 3.5, but I am going to start flying it. Soon as this guy is done, though, the next thing that I'm doing is ripping apart the Raxus, the 2.5-inch build on 03 that I will be using this year, moving forward for my live broadcast stuff. I'm going to get this guy up in the air and the Cine 3.0 up in the air to just start getting batteries through them. So the next thing I do when the Cine 3.0 is done is a motor swap on this. These T-Motor 1404s that I put on here are only 2700 kV. I didn't notice that when I was soldering them up, and I run all of these on 4S so that they're as reliable as possible. And so these motors need to come off of here. They are going to get replaced with the motors that were on it when it caught on fire because I tried to run 6S on it. These are Axis Cine C145. It's a 1405 in like 4500 kV, I think it is. So we're going from a 1404 to a 1405. This will be the biggest motor that I've ever run on one of these 2.5-inch builds. There's a chance that it's a little bit too big of a motor, but what that'll allow me to do is run like a 5-blade 2.5-inch prop with no problems if I ever wanted to like pick up a GoPro or something like that with this. So yeah, A1 Mini is done. It's just it plays that little song, and it's just the most delightful goddamn thing on earth. Like a couple of DJI employees start a 3D printer company and just have it all figured out, man. I love it. So yeah, I've got like one more round of printing to do. I'm not going to turn it on now because I know it sucks for anybody wearing headphones. But one more round of printing, and I'll have pretty much everything that I need to get the AOS Cine 30 done. And get it set up and start flying it. Start putting batteries through it, make sure that it's everything is good to go. The AIO that's in it is an Acon 60 amp. It's the same AIO that Fly 533 absolutely tortured the hell out of. They built a 5-inch racing rig with it, put one of their really gnarly batteries on it with those crazy 2207s, and just like sat the thing full throttle for almost the entire battery. And it was completely fine. So if it can put up with that, then it's going to last forever on, little old 4S 850s with 2.5-inch 3-inch props and whatnot. And that's, like that's what I want. That's one of the reasons that I can't trust the bind and flies. They're not built with the absolute best of everything in them. Like when I build these things to fly around people, like, I use the best components that I've found in 10 years of testing this stuff. And in my opinion, that's why my shit doesn't fall out of the sky, which is super important because nobody wants to be that guy. And it's kind of reckless to ruin it for everybody else in the industry, trying to make a living doing this. So yeah, this is one of the rear antenna mounts for it. This is awful big and chunky, but I am going to try it. These two are have a lot less to them, but one of the problems I'm running into with this is that I got to put a lot of antennas on it. The 04 Pro uses dual antennas, and then the XR4 uses 2 dual band antennas. So I've got one of these dual band antennas running left to right in the back like that, down low. I would love to run it up high, but it's hard to get it to clear these. And then the other antenna I'm going to run in a vertical orientation, but actually in a 45-degree orientation. So one's going to be like that. One's going to be like this. Get the hell out of there. Get out of the way. There we go. So like that, and then like that. And the vertical one, when I'm nose down like this, will be vertical. I could run it like this, but then when I'm nose down, it's not vertical. Also, having the antenna like this is a pain in the ass to travel with it. Having it at a 45-degree angle, the bottom part folds down flat. against your bag, and then the top part just kind of wibbles and wobbles around, and it's fine. So yeah, I'm trying to fit a lot of antennas on this. I'm using Haku 3D or License to Drive in chat's antennas, which are over on Thingiverse. If you're not familiar with him, boy, are you missing out. He's got some of, if not the best, ELRS and other antenna options on Thingiverse. Here comes a link in the chat, but it's basically Haku 3D, Haku 3D. For anybody watching this without the chat, there's the link, thingiverse.com/HAKU3D/designs. You could probably just do thingiverse.com/Haku3D. Yeah, he's got just such amazing antenna prints on here, and he's got a ton of stuff. He's got like 5 pages of 3D printed stuff. He's been doing it for a long time. He's a really cool guy, and yeah, just really gnarly stuff. But some of my favorites of his, my absolute favorite of his, is his universal T antenna mount. This works perfect with these dual band antennas. They print flat like this, and then these little squiggly bits, they wrap around the antenna, so it'll work on like damn near any size antenna. It's really nice. It holds on beautifully. It's just such a cool design. There's his vertical one. This is actually the vertical design that I'm trying to explain to Amit that I want at a 45-degree angle. So I'm just looking for basically like this part here to be extended, and then this part here to be shortened up a little bit, and then that'll put this guy at a 45-degree angle. So yeah, what I might actually do is at the end of this live stream, I might just clip the 60 seconds from a second ago, and just send him a clip of that. Because yeah, this is the best way of holding these dual band antennas. These antennas are admittedly kind of annoying because this head on them is totally different than any other antenna head out there, right? In order for it to have room for both the 2.4 and the 900, it's just a really weird shape. And most of the other antenna mounts out there don't really hang on to it, but that universal one is perfect. It wraps right around, and it's just beautiful. It's the setup for any of you that watched me build the Avada Killer. It's what I used on that, which is here. And so you can kind of see it on the bottom. It just wraps right around that part, that bottom part of the antenna, and it holds it like absolutely perfect. Like it's so nice. And then you can just release these little tabs. There you go. Yep, these 2 little tabs. If I push on them like that way, they just pop right out. They've never popped out when I haven't wanted them to, but if I want to get them out of there, it's super easy. Just a beautifully, like, simple, elegant kind of design. This is also a rig where I have the dual antenna set up in the exact same way. So one on the back horizontal. You're going to get great coverage from this when you're flying away from yourself. You get okay coverage when you're flying towards yourself. You can see the antenna here, right? So this is going to work when you're nose down flying straight towards yourself. But boy, this 45-degree angle vertical antenna, I mean, like pretty much any time that you're moving around, it's going to give you really good signal. Worst case scenario is this: flying back towards yourself, the bottom half of the antenna is obscured by the carbon fiber body, but that's when you've got this guy here. So yeah, it works really well. I'm using one of License to Drive's older designs to hold this one. And yeah, I had to modify it a little bit and cut some of the TPU off, but it works really well. Nyafu, if you're out there, the other 3D prints that I'm using are for Brain 3D for this guy. This is the FPV Cycle Cinesplore V1 frame. This front 04 Pro holder is from Brain 3D, and then I believe this antenna holder back here as well is also from Brain 3D. So yeah, there you go. Some new stuff coming to the Etsy store. If you order a prop tightener, GemFan 2023 S's, the inner diameter is a little bit too big for some motors, and these will pop off either under full throttle or in crashes. On my Etsy store, I sell a 1.5 millimeter prop tightener. All it really is an M1.7 screw. It used to be a Phillips head screw that was kind of annoying. Now I've managed to find hex screws. I had to order 200 of the damn things. So for the love of God, order some of these from me. But yeah, it is now a hex head, so it'll sit, and it's a socket head too, so it'll sit really nice on your driver. And then all you do is run it down the middle of the propeller. This one's also a lot shorter, which will make it a lot easier to use. This is actually the first time I'm using it, and yeah, that is beautiful. It's the exact length where it'll peek out the top of the propeller. So what this has now done is it has grooved the inside inner diameter of this propeller. It used to be a smooth barrel that the prop shaft would come up and then it would slip off. Now the threads have grooved that plastic, right? The threads pushed into the plastic, and when you do that, if the plastic is flat, you groove that inside, but the outsides open, go up. Well, actually, it would be more like this. So it starts like this, and then when you dig it in, it does that. So where my knuckles are, raise. So it makes the propeller fit way tighter and not fly off the motors. And it's just a little itty-bitty M1.7 socket-headed screw in exactly the right length. CiottiFPV.com has a link to my Etsy store, or just go to Etsy and search for CiottiFPV. It works beautiful. I've been using the other ones for a couple of months, and they keep these from flying off. They also don't make them so tight that you hurt the motors taking these on or putting these off. Different motors have slightly different thickness motor shafts, and so if you run this screw all the way through the propeller and the propeller is too tight, throw it away. The next propeller you do, only screw this half the way in. And then you can, so however much you screw this in, that's going to be how much extra tightness you're giving the actual propeller. Just awesome. Really, really cool. Super simple. While you're on there, I still have tons of Stabilization 22. This is the contact enhancer. This will get you at least 4 to 6% better performance from your motor plugs for nothing. You take a pin, you pick up a little bit of the liquid on the tip of a pin, you rub it onto 3 of your motor pins, you grab another little bit of the liquid, you rub it onto the next 3 motor pins, next three, plug the motors back in, and you get 5-ish% better performance. I've now done it a second time to an AIO, and I got like another 2 or so % improvement. So yeah, every time you unplug motors, you might as well just throw some of it on there. It doesn't take any time. I sell them in these awesome little vials where it makes it easy to put a little pin in there. I'm selling it like thinned down at 0.5 of a milliliter, which is like very little, but when you use the head of a pin, you take like nothing of it out of there. That 0.5 millimeters will easily do like 20 plus AIOs. Don't put like a paintbrush in there and then brush it on. That's totally wasteful. Use a pin or a needle, or what I was doing on the first live stream is I was just using the tips of these fine-tipped tweezers, and I was just dipping them into the fluid, and the surface tension picks up some of the fluid, and the motor pins are so infinitesimally small that you don't need much of it. So yeah, this is the previous M1.7 that I was using, and it's too long, and it's Phillips head, and it's annoying as hell. I'll update the picture at some point, but if you go on there and order that, I'm not going to ship any more of those out. I have 200 of these nice socket-headed prop tighteners, so these will be the ones that I ship out. Moving forward. has sent me a package. That little thing is from Mighty Car Mods. Go subscribe to them. They are the best channel on YouTube. Amazing dudes. They talk about mental health here and there. They're just great. They've been doing YouTube for like 17, 18 years now. Best car channel on YouTube, hands down. Complete Networking has sent an amazing box of goodies. Look at this. These are... Is it running right now? No, it's not running right now. These are Vifly Toothster and Whoopster V3 stands that I'm going to be throwing into giveaways for the next bunch of months. And so this is a Whoopster. This is the 2S version, the 1S V2. I'm sorry, this is the Toothster. All of these look like this. The Whoopsters, the 1S version, the version 2 and 3, I think, look like this, and they'll drop right in here. This is an awesome little stand for it. And so it's got room on the right side for the plugs. It's got room on the left side for the fan. And now it's going to sit right on your desk. It's also got gaps in the bottom here for the air outlets. Very, very cool. And then your batteries can just hang right off the front. We got a couple black. We got this very cool purple. This looks like that Sunlu Burgundy almost. And then a whole bunch of white ones as well. I've got my Toothster sitting in this little rack thing that holds a bunch of batteries and whatnot. But I've always been kind of worried about it getting too hot because there's no vents in the bottom of that. So I'm going to keep one of these white ones, and I might use that at some point, especially if I get another. Like, I have the old school Vifly Whoopster 1S ones, which, I mean, they're fine. They don't have a cooling fan in them, which is kind of nice because they're silent. But at some point, I'm sure I'll, well, you know what'll happen, hopefully, because, and look, if you haven't done this yet, you need to do this. We are all sending messages to Vifly and saying, hey, on your next version of the Toothster and the Whoopster, can you please, 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 please put in functionality to test the resistance of the battery, like we get in the big boy chargers, so that we can see if our batteries are healthy or not. And if enough of us do that and ask them for that, the next version of it will have that, and then we can all go buy it, because that would be incredibly nice. It's, you know, not the end of the world to charge 6 of your batteries up and just fly them back to back. And if one of them flies like shit, obviously it's kind of on its way out. But to be able to actually put a number to that would be even nicer. So yeah, I will be snagging one of these white ones for myself to run when I replace that that Whoopster. Thank you, brother. Look at that. Moo, motherfuckers! Jimmy the Cow is Complete Network Solutions. I'll also be throwing some... I will keep one of these stickers, as I always do, and the rest will be thrown in with upcoming giveaways. So 3 people are going to get Jimmy the Cow mooed. I wonder if he's mooing in chat already. Hopefully he is. Thank you, dude. Very, very cool. Very cool. And then... we've got a box from the one and only Dr. Frank Nicholas. And yo, this looks, look how good this looks in white with the white against it. That looks just, it's the most professional looking thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna put it right back there so that I remember. Well, although, hold on, what if I put the old school Whoopster? Oh, no, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna reorganize this a little bit. I'm gonna start using this now. The old school Whoopster sits in the little tray, and so I can actually start using this now, which is pretty awesome. I love that it puts it up on the angle like that. That's really, really slick. And so if I move this over here, I could just kind of slide that over there. And then just move this over here, move this forward. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're good. That's kind of coming out the wrong side, but that's okay. How else can I set this up? Just put it in front. If I push this back, yeah, that works. That works. There it is. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but there it is. Yeah. Thank you, dude. Very cool. Very, very cool. Man, that's nice the way that it puts it up at an angle. I'm still waiting for Jesse to get back to me about the broken clone popper. Yeah. If yeah, I don't know. I might be done with the clone poppers. I absolutely love them right up until they break, and this one broke on the second prop that I removed, which is a bit much. You know, I don't have a problem with, like, if I'm abusing something and it breaks, being like, yep, I shouldn't have been cranking on it. And the two previous clone poppers that I broke, I was absolutely cranking too hard on them. But this one, that's not the case. I was not. I wasn't pulling very hard on the propeller. So I think they might. There might be a problem with the clone poppers at the moment. I think that is all the things that I wanted to kind of hit on. I'm going to leave this prop out as a reminder. In the chat, you can FPV was first. Sporny, Matthew Wegner, Jeremy Flies, Level Up, Uriel, Flycadelic, Jeremy Flies again, Dagul, Doc Holiday for the win, Skull 901, Uriel, Sleepy CBR, Johnny 2 Gats for the win, Moton FPV, Sleepy CBR again, Uriel Webster. If you want the gangly man to read your name, come in early, say hello. Or just type CiottiFPV, and you can talk directly to me. Levster says, hey everyone. Uriel says, can your dad adopt me? I buy RV and barbecue over there for him. Uriel says, serious, checked order, wide vision. They are going to refund, so I order at another place. Oh, that's annoying. Dude, you waited all that time. License to Drive is in the chat. What's up, dude? For the Win says, what prop do you recommend for 802 32,500 kV 1.5 millimeter on Air 75 V2? Currently running HQ. I don't remember what it is. I remember liking the HQ bi-blades I had originally, but they were 1 millimeter. Air 75 V2 swings a 1.6 inch propeller. There are 3 good options. Buy them all and see which ones you like best. Gemfan 1610 is the most durable, but the least balanced. It's still balanced okay, but it's not balanced quite as well as the other 2 options. The other 2 options are HQ ultralights. There's a bi-blade and there's a tri-blade. Like I said, just get them both. They're both really good. All 3 propellers are really good. You're gonna like one over the other. Personally, I would go with the bi-blade, but that's just me. So here on Weebleed, I do have an affiliate link to Weebleed if this is where you choose to order from, over on CiottiFPV.com. So we're looking for, where are the 1.6 inch props? What on earth? Where the hell are they? Here we go. So here's the HQ Ultralight Tri-Blade. Get a set of those, or 2 sets of those. Here is the HQ 40 millimeter, right? Yeah. Here's the HQ Ultralight Bi-Blade 40 millimeter. This is my favorite at the time for a 1S build. And then here is the Gemfan 40 millimeter Bi-Blade 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter. This is my favorite for digital builds or just builds that 2S really. On any of the 2S builds, I run these Gemfan 1610s or 40mm bi-blades just because they're really durable. The HQ ultralights break at the hub, and that's scary. So yeah, these Gemfans are great. Like I said, these are not quite as well balanced as the HQ, but that just means you need to pull the PID tune down a little bit. On 2S, there's so much power that like you can run a stock PID tune and it flies great. So those 1610s are totally fine. On the 1S builds, like this one that I was doing a lot with, I guess last week and the week before, yeah, this really likes these HQ ultralight bi-blades because they're super well balanced. I can crank the tune up a little bit, and it really helps this guy. 1S is a little bit handcuffed from the lower voltage, and so it helps to do a couple of things here and there, like run really lightweight propellers to kind of wake it up a little bit and try to bridge that gap in performance between 1S and 2S. Sporny says, what's a good thrust to weight ratio for a proper Cinewhoop? With my current plans, I'm sitting around 4 to 5 to 1. It doesn't have to freestyle. You know, I've never really done the math on that. I run motors that don't have any thrust numbers, so I have no way of knowing. But I mean, like a hardcore freestyle 5-inch rig is roughly 10 to 1, and you would not want that much power on a Cinewhoop. Tiny whoops are around 3 to 5 to 1. And so that's probably about where you want to be. That's probably about right. Is 4 to 5 to 1 for a Cinewhoop. UConFPV says, that's what I'm running now. Air 65-2, Champion Frame, Matrix 2 AIO, 40,000 kV, Weebly 0702s, Gemfan 1219s, 1.5mm motor shafts, ORT Micro V, BIV2, but killed the camera today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that combo out. It should be incredibly durable. Sporny says, also, have you something to say about the Foxier Datora 1404s? They look great, and I can get them suspiciously cheap. I'm pretty sure that Foxier doesn't make their own motors, so they're having somebody make those motors. Maybe it's RC and Power. Maybe it's, God knows who it is. Maybe it's Brother Hobby. I have not personally run them. I've not seen anyone talking about them, so I have absolutely no idea. If they're suspiciously cheap, that's a little bit worrying, to be honest, but it could be totally fine. It's hard to say. Hey, there's Amit. Amit, thank you so much for doing those, for converting those to 4mm for me. They are ready to go. They are literally sitting right here, ready to be printed. 1 and 2. All right, cool. You guys are the best. License to Drive says, I thought I sent you the 45-degree version of that universal antenna. You did, but it is for 5mm standoffs. I'm using it right now. Wait, no, I'm not. I put the wrong one on here. Yeah, I just needed it converted to 4mm standoffs. And so I just threw up on my Discord real quick, like, hey, anybody slick at CAD can do this real quick, and like within a half an hour it was done. I was like, cool, I don't have to bug License to Drive. But License to Drive is putting links in the chat right now to his awesome antenna mounts. What the hell's going on here? Get out of there. Social stream. Stop it. There we go. All better. Sporny says, I've noticed the bad batteries are always the first done charging. That's interesting. I've never noticed that before. Boy, does that make sense, though, because when you're flying them, they sag really hard. And then you land when you normally land, and then they bounce back up higher, and then you put all your batteries on the charger, and the bad batteries have the head start, and so they I never thought about that. That's great. That's a great realization. Itchy Sack FPV is back. He says, I sent you a pic of the ones I made, posted in 3D Prints Discord. Ah, nice. Itchy Sack has a couple of really cool little... What am I doing? I don't need to zoom on here. I can just click it. Oh, those even have hinges to close. That's really cool. That's really, really, really slick. Somebody sent me a really cool little... Two of these, actually. I showed one to Patrick, and he was like, oh my god, dude, that's awesome. And I just ended up giving it to him. But somebody sent me this really cool little, like, organizer, basically, with a slot that fits the... Now I've got the old school Whoopster in it, but this slot here perfectly fits the newer versions of these. It just doesn't have any... oh, you know what? I just realized the whole bottom is opened. It does have cooling on the bottom. See that? So it will keep it cool. But yeah, it's got a space for batteries and all kinds of other fun stuff. And so yeah, I like using that. The old school Whoopster sits in there totally fine, so I'm just gonna leave that in there like that. That's totally cool. All right. CiottiFPV says, how's that frame design going? Sorry I'm late. Was filling out a job application. I still haven't broken it. I haven't put batteries through it, but the Tune Art, unfortunately, when I was in Florida this last weekend, the Tune RC Poly caught on fire in the HD frame that I'd built. So that I can't fly that until I get a new AIO for that. That's what this HD0 Gamma 45 amp AIO fund is for. This is an AIO that's rated up to 6S. So I can, if I run it on 4S, it'll probably last forever. The Tune RC Poly is rated for 2S to 4S. I was running it on 4S with some pretty beefy motors, 1504 motors. There is a chance that the Tune RC Poly didn't blow up. There's a chance that that one of these Oddity RC Spinny Boy 1504 motors shorted, and then that's what grenaded the AIO. It's impossible to tell. So we're gonna do this HD0 Gamma 45. I'm gonna have to get another one of those. Tell me I have an extra one of those motors. Son of a bitch. To get those Spinny Boy motors, you got to order them from direct from Oddity RC, which sucks because they're overseas and take forever to get here. They're also a little expensive, but I love the size. They're 1504. I ordered them when they were the only 1504s that you can get. Oh no. I don't have an extra one. Are you serious? Dude. Come on now. That's incredibly annoying. Oh! I do have an extra. I think. It feels like there's an extra in here. Oh, thank God. I have one extra, which is kind of annoying because now I don't have any spares. But yeah. Oddity RC Spinny Boy 1405 4800 kV. RC and Power also makes a 1405. So if I put this on and it grenades, these motors are gone forever. I didn't realize this, but when RC and Power made this GTS V3 1404 plus, what the plus means is that it's 1405. I don't know why they didn't just call it 1405. I think maybe it's 1404.5. But no, 4680 kV. So yeah, RC and Power is a known quantity. We know they make great motors. If you want a 1405, get this. Don't get these Spinny Boys. They're annoying to order. I guess unless you're overseas and you can, and Oddity RC is local. Although I'm a little freaked out, man. I'm a little freaked out that the motor cooked and that blew up the Tune RC Poly. But I've heard from a bunch of people, like I said earlier, that they've had their Tune RC Polys blow up when they were running them on 4S. So it's tough, man. It's so hard to figure out what exploded when these things explode. Very soon, these RC and Power motors will be going on to this Siren F3. And this is coming with me to the live broadcast events. When I'm not flying over people, I can do some gnarly freestyle shit with this. It's got O3 on board, and then I can dump that into the TV truck for like weird, wild B-roll. Doing like wall rides and all kinds of other wacky stuff. So yeah, I'm getting these Mamba 1505s off of here because the bells keep flying off. And so yeah, we're gonna get to try these RC and Power 1405s on this guy, and then I might get a bunch more of these as long as I like them on here. This is a great motor size, and this is a high KV. 4680 KV. That's what we want. We want like 5000 KV really. So that we can motor limit down a little bit for 3-inch props. You could even run these on 2.5-inch props. So, yeah. Good motors. So we got some fun stuff coming up there. I got a lot of motor swaps I'm doing in the next bunch of days here. I'm pretty excited. And I didn't realize that I had so many of these. These are the old iFlight Zing 1504s. I didn't realize that I bought so many of these before they got discontinued. I just put them on this 3-inch build here. It looks like I've got 3, 6, 9. I've got 10 extras, so I can put these on one more build and have enough that they don't explode. These are 1504s. These Spinny Boys and the RC and Powers are 1405s. 1504 is a lot smaller than 1405. The stator height has much more of an impact on power than stator width. So these iFlight Zings might actually not have enough power for this thing, but they are nice and lightweight and they might be super efficient, so we're going to see. But if they don't have enough jam, I'll be swapping this guy over to the RC and Powers. I'll buy another set of those RC and Power 1404 pluses and swap this over to those guys. So we got some plans happening. There's things happening, people. I didn't realize that the motor had cooked. I thought it was just the AIO that blew up. The FET that blew up is right next to where the battery leads are. So it like that side of the board just is absolutely ruined. As you would expect when 4S when you unleash the 4S beast. Sear says, have you seen the Tiny Whoop Carbon Fury? What are your thoughts? I have not. What is that? What's Carbon Fury? Tiny Whoop Carbon Fury. Got to give me a little bit more to go off of. It's not... I don't know where to look. This is absolute and utter nonsense here. Jesus. Yeah, where can I look to see what that is? Because AI is having a stroke. Beetlebase says, not sure if this has been asked before, but what are your thoughts on a 2S 65mm? Way too heavy. Like 802 14,000 31mm prop run walk snail 1S HD cam. Yeah, it's just way too heavy. 65mm rigs, the proper use for them is flying inside the house. when we build these things the way that we've been building them for the last 2 years or so, they have plenty of power, plenty of runtime, and it's important to keep them as light as possible. So the only way to make this work as 2S is if we were to somehow have a 2S 150 mAh battery made. A, it's not going to happen. B, the battery would probably perform worse than 1S. With LiPo batteries, when the mAh gets lower than like 450 or so, the batteries start performing much worse. These little 300 mAh batteries. So the perfect example of this is the 2S BT 3.0 batteries. We've got these Tiny Whoop 2S BT 3.0 300s, which are really good for what they are. But when you run these back to back with a 2S 450, the difference is unbelievable. Like, this 300 sags so much more than these 450s. These 450s, like, they don't sag at all. It's really remarkable. These 300s sag. They don't sag anywhere near as bad as the 1S batteries, but compared to the 450s, they definitely sag. So to then go from 300 down to 150, that 150 mAh cell is going to perform even worse. And like, even though you're going to get the benefit of 2S, it's more than likely not going to be able to make up for it. Also, there's no frames that hold those so the battery doesn't exist and probably won't. There's no frames that exist to do it, so you're gonna have to have some jank ass like rubber band on the bottom or some other nonsense. There aren't many motors for it, and then, like, you know, what's the best case scenario? We get more power and or more runtime. We don't really need more power. We have motors that'll make all the power in the world. I'm not sure if we'll get more runtime because the battery is going to be so small of an mAh. But even if we do get more runtime, like, kind of who cares, right? Because like you land this thing, you yank the battery, you throw the other one, and you plug it in, and you're gone. And you know, like, these 65 millimeter whoops are pretty perfectly optimized the way that they are. I don't think that we're going to see any major changes moving forward. These have been around for almost 10 years in various forms. So they've had a hell of an R&D cycle, and a lot of people have been flying these. So yeah, this is the formula. Like, if you want something to fly indoors, this is beautiful. Air 65 V2 from Beta FPV is absolutely ridiculous. Custom building them is fun, but it's not going to get much better than that bind and fly, unfortunately. As much effort as I've put into custom building these things, that thing right out of the box is just stupidly good. So, lucky us. But kind of frustrating for me, having spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours over the last 3 or 4 years figuring these things out. But, you know, all the work that we've done together and all the live streams, I know that Beta FPV watches these live streams, and for them to take some of the lessons that we've learned and make something that performs even better, that's great. You know, in the grand scheme of things, that's a really good thing. Oh man, I made a mess over here. Hold on. I made a mess. All right, there we go. FizzPV says Atreides is Carbon Fury. Oh, okay. What's his new website? Euro says it is in the States. The Flywoo wide view still not to get. I'm checking on Ali. There's only thrustable that's selling. Yeah, I haven't seen it in stock anywhere. FizzPV, we got that. Amit says, I've been working on a 2.5-inch frame and sent you some pictures on Discord. Would love your thoughts since you've tested so many 2 to 2.5 inch frames before. I actually haven't tested many 2-inch frames. I have run a couple 2.5 inch frames, but not that many. Mainly 3 and 3.5 inch, to be honest. But for the most part, like, a frame is a frame is a frame. I will definitely check it out. Ah, nice. Amit sent me a 4mm version of that other frame. I'm dying to take a quick look. Where is it? Ooh! Oh, nice, dude. I think that's perfect. I think that's exactly it, dude. Awesome. I might have a hard time getting a little loopy thing in there, but probably not because it's TPU. I could just bend this out of the way, loop it in there. Dude, awesome. Thank you, brother. You CAD people are the absolute best. I'm going to drop this onto that. I think I can maybe fit it right in the middle. Let me see. Not quite. License to Drive. I hope you don't mind. I didn't. You know, you've been so kind with these designs. I was hoping that you wouldn't mind that I asked somebody just to change the what I was mainly asking is for this inner diameter here to get changed from 5mm to 4mm. And so, yeah, like I said, I hope you're not pissed. I can't imagine that you are because you've always been such an awesome dude. But if you are, I apologize. I swear I was doing it for good reasons. I was doing it to not have to bother you. I've asked a lot of License to Drive over the years. He'll come out with these awesome designs and I'll be like, dude, I love this design so much, but like there's just one little thing that's like not absolutely perfect for my specific build. Like, could you maybe just like shift this and like maybe put this at a 45-degree angle? And he's like, yeah, I'll hook you up. And then like I ask him again and it's just like, oh God. So I try my best to like spread the love around and like, you know, if like I recently License to Drive recently did these Radio Master mounts for me. RP4TD, the little 2.4 gig only Immortal T antennas from Radio Master. And so he made this like absolutely perfect, and it just like it's just beautiful. And then so so that was like, I don't know, a couple months ago. And so when I was it earlier? I think it was earlier today. Jesus. That I needed this change made. I was like, well, I bugged him last time. Let me bug my Discord this time, and then so this next time in another month I'll be bugging License to Drive again. Oh shit. You guys are all the best, man. We have such a cool community. It's really rad. We've made some cool shit, man. We really have. There's so much cool stuff in the 3D printing text channel over on my Discord. Link to my Discord is over on CiottiFPV.com. Join my Patreon and you'll get full access to my Discord. It's only $3 a month. That's like 20 cents a live stream or like 10 cents a day. If you're into FPV, you probably have 10 cents a day. It's not an expensive hobby, but it's certainly not like a free hobby. If you support me, I'll support you. I'll tell you what not to buy, and when I tell you not to buy something, you've saved maybe $50, maybe $100. That's a lot of 10 cents a day. Help me keep telling you what not to buy. Cool? Madman sent me the link for Carbon Fury. Thank you, dude. Sear says, thanks, that's exactly what I'm trying to get. Opinion on, what do you think about it? Fizz, interesting, right? I don't... Oh, we're talking about Atreides, Carbon Fury. Okay, I saw this. That's it. FPV Freedom. That's it. .com. You know, I did see this when I was scrolling through his website real quick. I did see this. This is super interesting. This is in the vein of like the Spider Itsy, where it's like, yes, this has a prop guard, but good Lord, you can't hit anything with this. Like if you bump into anything with this carbon is going to leave terrible scratches, and or if you hit something hard, this carbon's probably going to break. So this is going to fly great. Like, it's got very little prop obstruction, right? It's just got like the one main arm here, right? So unlike most, if not all, of the other carbon fiber framed tiny whoops, we're not obstructing a ton of thrust, right? So this is going to fly so much better than any of the other carbon fiber options. But again, you know, I crashed the shit out of tiny whoops. This is something that would not last very long. This, you know, think about it this way, right? This entire circle here is only secured right here and right here. So if you hit out here, which is where you're going to hit, it's a huge lever arm. That is the exact problem with the AOS Cine 2.5. And it's exactly why I've broken the top and bottom plates on this 3 times from crashes that were like 4 feet high. We've got this entire thing is only mounted here and here. So this whole area around here is one big lever arm. And so when you hit like this, that's a big long lever, and it just shatters this carbon fiber. This actually has the benefit of some standoffs and 2 pieces of carbon fiber. Obviously, this is a lot heavier than that, but still, that design. And I could be wrong. Maybe it is durable, but my guess is that this is a build that's gonna fly really good, but you just can't slam it, and that's kind of how I fly, right? If you want this. This would be fucking Doug DeMuro. This would be really cool for 04 Pro. For me, I don't know what I would do with this analog. I know what I would get. I would get frustrated when I crashed it and blew it up. This would be incredible if you could put digital on it, because now you've got an 04 light. You've got pretty much the lightest possible thing to carry an 04 light. This prop guard here is unbelievably thin. So this thing is going to slide around all day long. The wind is going to just pass right through it. So this is like the smallest 04 light carrier that's going to do well in the wind. Throw some bi-blades on this. It looks like it's set up for 1.2 inch props. I would want this up on like 1.4 or 1.6 inch props to take advantage of the fact that, like, you're not flying it inside, you're not crashing it, right? You can't really fly this inside because it's going to mar the shit out of your walls, right? This carbon fiber is going to just leave marks all over your house. But for flying outside, as long as you're not going to crash it, this is going to be rad, man. This is going to fly as if it has no prop guards, but then it's got the prop guards. God forbid you smack into somebody. I would be a little worried to fly this around people, because like this carbon fiber is so thin and carbon fiber is so sharp that, like, if you hit somebody in the face with this, I mean, it'd probably be okay, but like, I don't know, I'd be worried about like gashing the shit out of their forehead. But man, this is gonna fly as if it has no prop guards, and so in the wind, this is gonna be awesome. For me, I would need this to be an 04 light carrier. I would never do this as analog, because analog rigs, I slam like I hate them. And this is probably not a rig that you can slam like you hate it because of how thin this is and where it's anchored. But yeah, very, very cool. Very, very interesting. As an HD setup, this could be amazing. We got to start flying. Stop asking such good questions, friends. Beetlebase says, that makes sense, so I'm kind of stuck going for a 75mm for a third drone to add to my 65mm and 5-inch. I think I'd rather build a 2 to 3.5 inch to have a run cam on there. Thank you for the input. 75 millimeter versus 2 to 3.5 inch is super simple. A 75 millimeter 1S or 2S whoop, 75 millimeters motor to motor, 1.6 inch prop. That is for flying small in your yard. When you see me ripping in through the bushes and shit in the front yard, that is what a 75 millimeter rig will do. You can now do a 1S and it performs really well. Do the exact build that I was showing and tuning last week. Use the GetBar C1002 25,000 kV motors. This is awesome. 2S is going to give you more power and more runtime, but that is still a very fun build. These are completely safe builds. You can fly them everywhere and anywhere. They're a little kid's toy. If you get caught, it's just going to be like, get out of here with your child's little toy. It's not going to be like, yo, I called the cops and or somebody tackling you. 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 3 inch, they get loud. Like they're not a little kid's toy anymore. They are for hammering up and down the street or flying a small park, throwing them up over big trees. So yeah, 1.6 inch ducted versus open prop, 2.5, 3, 3.5, two totally different worlds. The tiny whoop, you can bash into your neighbor's car and it's not going to leave a mark. A 3-inch rig will break a windshield. It won't go through a windshield, but it'll crack a windshield or leave a big ass dent in someone's bodywork that's going to cost $1,000+ to have fixed. So totally different worlds. That should be an easy decision for you. Amit says, I'm deciding between 2.5 millimeter and 3 millimeter bottom plate for my 2.5 inch frame design. Do you think 2.5 millimeters is strong enough? Send some pics of it in DMs. Could be. It depends on the design itself. My recommendation is going to be to go thinner first, have it cut, crash the shit out of it, see if it survives. If it survives in 2.5, awesome, away you go. There's a school of thought that you 3D print your frame first. It's gonna break because 3D printing is the wrong way to make a frame, but that's what you want. You want it to break and you want to see where it breaks, and then you can beef that area up, and then you get it cut in carbon and see how that performs. So yeah. Just taking a super quick look. Oh, I saw this in general the other day. I think I saw this in general the other day. I'm going to not show it just in case you only sent it to me. But this is cool. This is like a mix between the the Bando Turtle and the Caillou Mini. Really cool looking design. You've left enough. It looks similar enough to those two where it's probably going to be good to go. Like this is probably going to be awesome. Yeah, cool design. I dig it. I would have that bottom plate cut thinner and then crash the shit out of it and see where it breaks. Very, very cool. And then like if you're having like CNC Madness or whatever, whoever you're having it cut for you, they should give you the option of 2 mil, 3 mil, like what sub 250G FPV has. And so you just tell them, hey, I want you guys to offer it in 2 mil and 3 mil, and away you go. Somebody that wants to be lighter weight, 2 mil. Stronger, 3 mil. Away you go. Very cool. Very cool design. All right. Let's see what's up with... what's happening over there? Let's see what's up with overpropped versus underpropped. This is a Happy Model Mobula 6 2024 V2. The V2 is the one with the motor plugs. They don't sell this anymore. This is the Super X AIO. It's a very lightweight AIO. It's cut down so that it fits in this Meteor 65 Pro frame, which is really cool. The replacement for this AIO is the Crazy G473, which is in this guy here. You're going to notice a little bit of video noise on this AIO. That's why I think they stopped making this AIO. The 473 does not have the video noise problem, but it flies okay. We've got two identical frames, Meteor 65 Pro frames. These are the only frames that swing 1.4-inch propellers. You can see the difference here. The props are a little bit bigger. It makes it more floaty and slower, and it's a really interesting flight experience. Right now, these are both on 0702 32,500 kV motors from Weebleed. This is on HQ Ultralight Tri-Blades. This is on Gemfan Bi-Blades. These Gemfan Bi-Blades are both lighter weight and less draggy because they have one entire less blade. So I'm going to fly a couple of batteries with it on these Tri-Blades. This is Overpropped. The propellers are a little bit too big and a little bit too heavy and a little bit too draggy for the size of the motor. But these builds and indoor builds have to be really lightweight. I have done this setup with bigger motors over and over and over again over the last 2 years. I've tried this setup on 802s, 703s, 603s. 702s are what we need. These are the motors that are light enough for flying inside the house. It's hard to fly inside the house. The gap between your coffee table and your sofa is only this big. That's not big enough for something like this. When you're flying outside, yeah, sure, a 5-inch rig is a lot bigger, but the gap that you're shooting is 10 times the size, right? It's between two trees or it's a doorway, right? And you got way much more room. It is so much more difficult to fly inside the house, and so you have to be lightweight. 702s are absolutely the way to go. And so first up is going to be an overpropped setup. Propellers are too heavy, too draggy for these motors. So what you're going to see, hopefully, is it's a little bit soft. The response time is not quite there. And then we're going to switch over to this, and we should feel it like really light. It should look much more alive. I'm going to be able to feel the difference for sure on the sticks. I'm hoping that you guys can see the difference. That tends to be the hard part. But I'm going to try to talk you through it as I'm kind of feeling the lack of response time and the lack of crispness. Wayne Hunter with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, Air 65 landed in dirt. Now a motor won't spin. What do I do? Blower, motor spray, disassemble. Yeah, use compressed air first. If you can't get it out, so like you're gonna kind of take it and like as you're blowing compressed air in it, just kind of wiggle. What's probably happened is that you've got sand in between the stator poles and the magnets. And so you can probably turn it like a tiny little bit against the grains of sand as you blow compressed air through. If you're wiggling it back and forth, it'll get those grains of sand to loosen up, and then they'll get caught by that compressed air and hopefully blown out of there. If you absolutely can't get that stuff blown out of there, you're going to have to remove the C-clip on the bottom, take the thing apart, and then you can get in there and you'll see that there's sand in between the stator poles and in between the magnets. Use like a fine tipped something to try to push it out. If you can't get it out, you can use silly putty, blue fun tack or silly putty, and you mold it in there and the sand and shit sticks to that, and then you pull it out. It's really difficult on the itty bitty motors. But there you go. That's how you clean sand and all kinds of shit out of motors. License to Drive says, no worries on the 3D design changes. I really like it when I see modifications made. Love that. I need to change the battery on these goggles. Oh man, Teddy heard the beep and came running. Alright, here we go. So, overpropped first. And somebody, I think it might have been Yafu, was asking the other day about 1.4 inch builds. And I'd said that I was going to fly it on that live stream, and then I saw something shiny and didn't fly it. So here you go. If it was you and Yafu, if it was somebody else, here you go. Here's some 1.4 inch flying. It feels drastically different than 1.2 inch builds. It's much slower. It's much more floaty. It's a very different feeling. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. The 1.2 inch setups are better. Again, flying inside, you need as much response time as you can possibly get. And so 1.2 inch is definitely the way to go. But Come on. Well, come up. Come on. Jump up. Jump up, you little bastard. Come on. Come on. Get up here. You come up and claw at me. Get your ass up here, dog. Come here. Come on. Come here. Oh, good boy. Oh, good dog. Look at how little this dog is. Back up. What are you doing? Oh. Oh. He's Mr. Big Stuff now. Look at Mr. Big Stuff over here. Oh God, he's leaning on me. This dog, man. What is he doing now? You going to sleep? What are you doing? You can't. Oh! Thank God. All right, buddy boy. It's showtime. Put on a show for the people. Let's get some more intensity, Teddy. We need some more intensity from you. All right, we're going to do, since I'm kind of running out of time, we're just going to do two batteries. We're going to do a 320 and a 280. Cool? And then we're going to swap it over. We'll do the 280 first. So, overpropped. And then we're going to swap the frame. And it's not going to be underpropped after I switch the frame. It's going to be, like, correctly propped, basically. I'm going to unplug the VRX, plug it back in. Get in there. There we go. Hi, dog. There it is. Go get it, buddy boy. Okay. Overpropped up first. Hair sticking out of this motor. Let me just get it. I got it. All right. Mobula 6 2024 V2 coming at you. So, this is the Runcam Nano 7, I believe. Very bright camera. Jesus. Hold on. The camera is so bright that it's actually making it a little difficult to fly. Let me try this. I'm going to try to put the lights on brighter and see if that'll help. Hey, ooh! Uh-oh. What's happening here? Oh boy. Something happened. Oh my God, it threw a propeller. I can't believe it skirted across the floor like that. It threw a propeller and still managed to bring its little ass home. I'm not even mad. It's impressive. So this propeller just flew off. I did notice when I was putting this propeller on that it was fitting kind of loose. I'm just going to take my fine-tipped tweezers and scrape them around the inside of the propeller, just like I have that screw to do. It's going to dig into the plastic, and it's going to raise the plastic on the outsides of where I'm digging it in. And then this propeller is going to fit properly. I've not found a screw that fits perfectly for these... Oh, wait, no, this is an M1.5. What am I saying? This just flew off. Now I'm going to take my little prop tightener and I'm going to put it in there and just screw it through. And then back it off. And now, for Christ's sakes, there it is. And now, this propeller is going to fit much tighter. And it's not going to fly off anymore. There it goes. And we're good. I didn't put that screw all the way through. I was in kind of a hurry. See if it stays on. Shit. Oh, man, I blew it. I had him chasing me. So, slightly overpropped. But nice and soft. You see how soft it is? And look how slow it floats around. Ready? See that hang time? It is really, really cool. This thing. Let's go upstairs real quick right at the end of the battery here so I can give you another hang time test. Oh my god, never mind. There it is. Hey. Some of these crashes are because of how much slower it is. See the cruise? See how it cruises slower? It's a bigger thing. You know, it's physically bigger. Also, this Meteor 65 Pro frame has relatively thick ducts. And so that helps it be more accurate, just like the Cockroach 65 V3. Damn it. I should have hit that. Still pretty good power. See that it's just there's just like a softness to it with everything that you do, which I really like. It's almost like a cinematic kind of feel. Oh, I got to adjust crash recovery on this. I don't have it on my new settings. I have it on the old settings. It's kind of slow. Super accurate, big old propellers, frame with a nice thick duct on it. An absolute joy to fly, man. I love flying these things. What it doesn't have though is the huge explosion and the quick snappy explosion of power that you get with the 1.2 inch props. That was a 280 mAh battery. Here comes a 320. If I can get this battery unplugged, that is. There we go. Jesus. Here comes a 320. Also, this is on these tri-blades, right? So the tri-blades are making it even slower, even more, like, sort of laser beam accurate. That prop is on there good now. One of the rear props was actually just trying to work its way off. So here's a 320. So now the response time is a little bit better. But but it is heavier. So I'm carrying more momentum. Look at that hang time though, bro. Come on now. It's just so much fun. I would not recommend, like, having this instead of a 1.2 inch build. But if you've been flying 1.2 inch builds for a while and you want something different, oh boy, you're gonna love this. It's like just different enough, but it's not like you have to relearn how to fly. Ah, I just hit the edge. It requires a slower timing. Like my timing for some of these moves, woo, Teddy boy, is a little different with this thing. I have to get on the throttle earlier. And I have to hang on the throttle longer. Ah! So accurate, man. It just goes dead straight all the time. Woo! I didn't see that bottle there until it was too late. Oh, God. Hey! That's not the thing that I want to power loop. This is the thing I want to power loop. Yeah, no! Get me out of here. Don't get caught back there, please. Thank you. Woo! Dog crossing. Oh, I was trying to set up a power loop there. Oh, come on now. Are you shitting me? Let me get this. Let me get it. Oh! Oh! Almost. One more try. Ooh! Shouldn't have chickened out. Oh, it has a hard time doing the mega power loop because it's overpropped. I'm asking so much of these 0702s. Oh, I couldn't decide if I wanted to go left or right. And when you do that, you tend to go straight. Damn it, I keep glancing off the wall there. Oh! Didn't throw it back far enough. I was too eager on the throttle there. I didn't get one clean one. The one was pretty clean. So there you go. Great runtime too with the bigger propellers, which is shocking because again, this is a slightly overpropped kind of setup, but bigger props are more efficient like that. And these are wheel lead motors, which are very, very efficient. So now we're going to swap the frame. Uriel bought a landing spot from Orange Material. I think it's the best way not to get dirt in my motors. Yeah, having a landing pad, that is actually one of the only reasons to use a landing pad, in my opinion. I never use them, which is wild because usually old people are all about them. But yeah, if you're gonna fly somewhere that's got sand, dirt, gunk, your other option is just to hand launch and hand land, which I hate to admit that I will do, but I've done it enough and I know how to do it relatively safely. Boy, am I sick of seeing it though. Like, I feel like every single popular FPV video nowadays has some asshole hand launching a 5-inch rig at full throttle. Like, Jesus Christ, that is the stupidest fucking thing that you can do. That is just like, oh my God, it's just so bad. It's so bad, man. They're like, oh God, a 5-inch rig at full throttle where a motor dies and that thing wraps around and comes up your arm. You're gonna die. Like, you're not gonna survive that, bro. Was it worth the 10,000 views you got on your non-monetized Instagram video that nobody cares about 5 seconds after they're done watching it? I doubt it. But you never know. Uriel says, how are your fingers? Good, man. I got very lucky with mine. I wasn't at full throttle when mine happened. It actually has healed almost all the way. Like, if I didn't tell you about it, you would have no idea that it's there. There's like just the tiniest little bit of a dent here, but like, who cares? I got very, very lucky. I truly cannot imagine a 5-inch rig at full throttle with the momentum, right? Like, it takes, they don't, like, I lucked out because I got in there at idle and it like stalled all the way down and then pushed against it. That's when our motors have the least amount of power. These assholes hand launching at full throttle, the motors are at full stank with all that momentum. Like, that comes around, dude, you're fucked. You are fucked. God forbid one of the bottom motors fails and it comes around like this. Like if it gets you up in here, you're dead. You're not surviving that. That will easily gash through everything down here, and it'll do it a whole bunch of times, and you ain't fixing that, yo. You're not gonna make it to the hospital. Like, you're done, bro. Unbelievable. Like, I saw it a couple times and I was like, wow, that's really stupid, but there's always somebody stupid enough to do it. And now it's just constant. It is just absolutely constant. I think there was even a fucking Rotor Riot video of them doing it. I'm like, dude, fucking come on. That is the worst thing that you can do as a popular content creator. Jesus Christ. Take that fucking video down, bro. Like, I hate to be a angry old man, but like, somebody is gonna fucking die because they look how cool, man. Like, no, man, Jesus. Scary, scary, scary stuff. The disrespect for towards FPV drones is frightening. Frightening. It always has been, but like as we go forward, they're more and more accessible, right? And so like it's just there's gonna be more and more accidents, and like it can be really nasty. Like I got extremely lucky, and it was really nasty for like over a month. I had to cancel a gig because of it. Like it's just bad, dude. Bad. Scary stuff. Really disappointing to see that Rotor Riot video of them doing it. I mean, that's like 101 things you don't do as a big channel, right? Look how cool this super sketchy thing is. Come on, man. Come on. Because when that person dies from it and a local news station picks it up, that's bad for everyone, and it's bad for you, right? It's bad for all of FPV. Come on. Frank Nicholas had a pretty rough experience with Rotor Riot the other day that I wasn't gonna talk about, but like, fuck it, let's pile on. He tried to buy something from them. He went to the item on their website, added the item to his cart. The item said, I don't know, $120 or whatever. Adds it to his cart, adds a couple more items, goes to check out, and there's a line item in the cart. Additional 25% or something like that for tariffs. What the fuck is that about? Like, first of all, for the company that's in bed with these literal Nazis to be doing that is pretty awful. But like, nobody else has done that. Not a single other FPV website has tried to pull that shit. Really, really not cool. Frank sent him a strongly worded email, and I laughed my absolute balls off. So yeah, that was, and then their response to his strongly worded email was pretty awful. They called him the wrong name. They called him Chad. Like, which, like, I wonder if that was them. I wonder if that was meant to be like insulting, like, oh, fuck Chad, hi Chad. Or if they've had to send that email so many times that they're just copying, pasting it, and getting sloppy. Or do they have like an AI chatbot doing it for them? But that was pretty disappointing. All right, frame swap is done. I just got to plug the batteries in, but I want to route this ELRS antenna a little bit better real quick here. There we go. And you go just over there a little bit. There we are. Perfect. Okay, motor's getting plugged in, and away we will go. Although, actually, these motors are probably not going to spin the right direction, so I'm probably going to have to hook this up to Betaflight. Speaking of, let's click on Betaflight to get it in the process of opening up, because for some reason, lately, Betaflight takes forever to launch. Although, of course, right now, it launches right away. The time that I actually remember to click it early. Oh, oh, oh! Oh, no. I want to put Stabilant 22 on these. I'm gonna. The difference here is not going to be Stabilant 22. The difference here is going to be I put it back into the same frame. What an asshole. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. What an idiot. I hate to admit this, but I've done this more than just this and one other time. For you patrons, there are 2 sound packs now, courtesy of QuadBod, who handles a lot of the timestamps on these live streams. Absolutely hysterical. Even if like you're not going to put the sound packs on your transmitter, I guarantee you that you will laugh at the like 100+ sound bites that QuadBod has pulled from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of live streams. It's absolutely hysterical. Matter of fact, here I'll give you a little teaser. $2G4 for life, friends. Hold on. $2G4 for life, friends. I'm just gonna 180 degree bing bong. Ah, shitters. Absolutely insane. Wait, I probably need to turn that up a little bit for you guys. Acro mode forever. Acro mode. This is nice. I don't even have to talk. I can just hit down arrow. All aboard, motherfuckers. Tonight's stream demonetized courtesy of Past Me. All day, every day, bro. All I do is the walk of shame. Some of these things I don't remember saying, but I'm so delighted that I said them at some point. Am I cooler now? That's in reference to I know what that's from. That's in reference to me saying like the things that the cool people say, like send it and you know, all the things that I refuse to say because they're cringy as fuck to me. But that's totally what that's in reference to. Am I now a cool person? That as well. Man, I'm flying like a bag of smashed assholes right now. Now and always, now and forever. And now I'm back. That was after a trip or a vacation or something, I'll bet. And so now I'm pissed. Angle mode. Angle mode. Hold on, I gotta get this screw in here. God damn you! Angle mode is on. Some of them are like very balls. Beat me more. Out of context, yo. CiottiFPV out of context is a wonderful thing. Big shitter. I don't remember that. Buckle up, buttercups. It's gonna be a real shit show. This is from the second sound pack. Buckle up, buttercup. That's a good one. It also reminds me of some of these things that I like the most, so I can say them more. You know. All right, I'm putting this into the correct frame this time. Calibrate, you bastard. Careful. We're only in the C's, yo.
Come on. Get you some. Come on now.
That's I say that one a lot. And it also reminds me of things that I say too often. I try not. I always in my life have tried to.
Do you see what I did there, you sons of bitches?
I've always tried to vary what I say. Like I will. I don't know why I take this so seriously, but like I really try not to tell the same story twice if like the same person is around. Probably because like it bothers me when that happens. Like if I'm hanging out with somebody and they tell the same story to like a new person, but I'm with them and they've told this story 14 times before, I'm just like, ugh. And so like and I try to say different stuff. It's just, you know, hearing the same thing over and over again drives me mad.
Does that make me seem cool?
Does it? Does it?
I don't know what the hell happened there. Don't try this at home, kids.
That's a good one.
Dongle bastards.
That's a good one. Ooh, I love that one. Dongle bastards. These goddamn motor plugs, like... Oh, and I forgot to put fucking Stabilization 22 on them. All right, ready? Here's how easy it is. Here's how easy it is to put Stabilization 22 on some shit. Check it out. You buy a little bottle. I'll tell you what, man. I have only sold a couple of those bottles. I thought you guys were going to be all over it, but boy, was I wrong. It's been very slow. The Stabilization 22. This is not the bottle you get it in. You get it in a nice little vial where you don't have to do this stupid little game I'm about to do. But the game I do is I drop 2 little drops into the lid here, and then I leave the lid like this. And then the most recent time that I did it, I basically just did it with a pin. It's not actually a pin. It's a little pick, but still, it's basically just a pin. Where the hell is it? There's a little pin. We'll use this. And I just drop this in there just to pick up a little bit of the liquid. And you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it on there if you want to... Oh, I didn't get any of it this time. Hold on. This one's a little bit shorter. I had a slightly longer one that I was using last time. That's what she said. Where the hell is it? Is it this one? Ah, here it is. It's this one. Here it is. So I just put it into the liquid to pick a little bit up. If you want to test it, just wipe it on your finger and you'll see a little wet line. And then you just stick it in there, and I put it into the little drippy droppies once for every motor plug. So you just come in here, wipe it on each pin. 1, 2, 3. Put it back in there. Go to the next one. 1, 2, 3. Go to the next one. And then I'll probably go back. I'm going left to right now. I'll probably go back and go right to left. Because, like, it's whatever. It doesn't take any time to do this, you know? This is pretty quick. There we go. Left side, right side. Left to right. And now I'll just do one more round. And here, I'll go right to left. Okay, that one. Right to left. Next one. And yeah, this just basically forms a same theory as thermal paste on your ECU. Metal is not completely flat. There's all kinds of little peaks and valleys, and this stuff just gets in there and flattens out those peaks and valleys, And this stuff is obviously conductive. And so it gives it a little bit more contact patch. And you can see, again, there's a bunch of, like, that's your proof that there, you know, like you can barely see that you're picking it up on the needle, but it's there. And if you want proof, you just go like this, and you'll have two big wet strips on your finger. And then, yeah, that's it. You got a little bit in the lid there, but I used most of it up. Away we go. We are Stabilant 22'd. And it dries really quick because I cut it with isopropyl. You're supposed to dilute it down in a very specific ratio with 99% isopropyl, which I've already done for you guys. So when you buy it, it's from me, it's ready to go, and you don't have to pay $50 for it. I paid $50 for just the liquid that did not make a lot. It's pretty fancy stuff because it's like nanotechnology, I think. Putting these on makes plugging these plugs in 1,000 times easier because you can actually see what the hell you're doing. So there we go. I am almost certainly going to need to plug this into Betaflight to get the motor spinning in the right direction. But just out of sheer morbid curiosity, let's put a battery on it and see if it takes off or if it just freaks out and spins into the dirt. We're going to do the 320 first because that's the last battery that I flew on the other one. And so I'm not even going to bother putting the battery into the tray. I'm just going to plug it in here, put it down on the desk, and the way that I like to test this is I flip it into turtle mode, and turtle mode should not flip up in the air. Oh, that one's good. Holy shit, it's gonna fly. Oh my god. That's a miracle. The motors are spinning in the correct directions. 320 MAH first. Bi-blades, same frame, same motors, same everything. Different propellers. Gem fan, 1.4 inch. I think it's 35 millimeter bi-blades. Hi, Teddy boy. And he comes running. We up, we up. All right, so one of the things that's happening is it's trying to fly away. As usual, these gem fan props are not as well balanced. Oh, God. As HQs. So I'm actually going to need to turn the PID tune down a little bit. Boy, is this hazy and foggy. Hopefully the lens is just dirty. Hopefully I got my finger grease all over them. All right. Oh, that's better. Way, way, way better. So let's just pull the PID tune down a little bit. We're going to go into Profile, Simplified Tuning. Oh, I got this cranked. So let's pull this down by 0.2. That should be enough just to get it calmed down a little bit. Sure wish this AIO had black box. Yep, now we're good. So, now we're on bi-blades. Less grip. As always with bi-blades versus tri-blades. A little bit less grip, but better response time. You see that? Ready? Look. See how quick it comes around? Still nowhere near as quick as on a 1.2 inch prop, but a significant improvement. Still hard to do that big throw. This is a big propeller. Teddy was not expecting that one. Oh, I got a little carried away. this is better to fly. The better response time of this does make a difference. Even though I'm crashing a bunch, that's more because biblades versus tri-blades. I would certainly get used to this. This is a more similar flight experience to a 1.2 inch prop rig than it was on those big old 1.4 tri-blades, which makes sense. I typically we fly 1.2 inch props on tri-blades. When you go up from 1.2 to 1.4 in diameter, it's a pretty big change. And so going from a tri-blade 1.2 to a biblade 1.4 makes a lot of sense. And as you can see, I'm already starting to kind of get used to it. Oh, that was... I don't know why I thought I could pull that off. It's the hardest gate in here, and I just, like, hurled myself at it. There we go. Now we're talking. Oh, I missed it. So there was a good example of... I mean, a little bit of that was because the battery was sagging, but also... Believe it or not, these bigger propellers don't make more thrust than the 1.2 inch props. The 1.2 inch props are so beautifully optimized for the 702s that you're going to get more power from them. This is actually still a little bit overpropped, in my opinion. Something being overpropped, underpropped is an opinion-based statement. There is not really, like, you know, the amount of response time that I want versus someone else wants, it's going to be different. And so over and underpropped, it's you can talk to one person that's like, oh, my setup is overpropped. Somebody else flies it and they're like, nah, I think that's kind of underpropped. So it's tough. But in my opinion, this is still a little bit overpropped. It's certainly not underpropped. If I were to put this on, oh my god, 1.2 inch biblades, then it would be underpropped. So let's take some of this PID gain out. It doesn't help that I'm having to remove some P&I gain. That makes this comparison a little bit more messy. But unfortunately, these Gemfan biblades are just not super well balanced. If I had one of these builds with black box on board, I could do a log and figure out where I need to drop a filter to handle whatever frame resonance that I'm getting right now that's getting excited by these propellers. It's fluttering this entire time. I'm just flying through it. Well, trying to fly through it. It's really difficult because the motors won't spin down. It does not like... So this is a 280 mAh battery. It does not like being lighter. On the 320 mAh battery, it was heavier. And that extra weight seems to have been helping this. It is a mess right now. I'm having a real hard time because the motors won't spin down to zero. Oh, they won't spin down to idle, I should say. They never spin down to zero. See? That, like... Come on. Oh my god, I can't handle this. Can you please fucking fly? See that? Oh my god, yeah, this is... Why is it getting worse? Jesus. Why is it getting worse? Is this antenna being weird again? This ELRS antenna sometimes acts really strange in this build. Just move it over here. Let's see if that's any better. Nothing's broken, right? Oh, that propeller almost came all the way off. Let's see if that's any better. Just move the antenna around a little bit. Nah, it's still doing it. It's not doing it as bad, though. Yeah, no, it's doing it just as bad. That was wishful thinking. I'm stuck. So yeah, it does feel better.
Every time you screw with something, you make it worse. Stop it. Farts.
It is definitely better, but now I'm running into another issue of these props not being super well balanced. Let me go into turtle mode real quick and spin each one of these up. Owie! It got my finger. Motor and prop 1 are pretty out of balance. This setup right now on the bi-blades is on 1mm motor shafts. This is a slightly heavier build because of the bigger props and bigger frame, and so I was really excited about the previous version of this build because the motors were 1.5mm motor shaft, but we don't have bi-blades for those. And so, like, this setup is much better from a durability standpoint, and that's probably one of the reasons that this wasn't flying away, because these motor shafts are 1.5mm and they're never going to bend. These 1mm motor shafts will absolutely bend, and motor number 1, it could just be the propeller, but it's probably the motor shaft is bent a little bit. And that's causing problems, and I'm having to turn the PID tune down. But hopefully you could see the better response time of this thing, even though it's not flying as good as it should. Hopefully you could see that it was a lot more snappy, a lot more poppy. That's what you get from a less overpropped setup. Let's do one more 320 mAh battery, because the extra weight of these batteries is helping to get this thing out of whatever weird oscillation that it keeps developing. And then I'll get caught up on chat and we'll get out of here. Enjoy the rest of our Friday nights.
Fat quads need loving too. Fix your shit, bro! Fuck.
Here we go! Come on. Come on! Come on! Come on! Yeah, this is so much more flyable on these bi-blades. It just feels so much more similar to the 1.2-inch builds. Lil Boo in the kitchen. Look at that hang time, friends. Look at this hang time in the... Oh, you idiot. In the full room power loop. Ready? That wasn't a good one. Hold on, let's do it the other direction. It's just up there for days. And then it's got enough quickness to pull out of that dive at the bottom, which is one of the problems that I have. Woo! Oh, shit. I didn't get it quite rotated enough to fall down like that. Oh, yo, that was a big one. Oh, God. Oh, I didn't expect that refrigerator door to be open. Holy shit. There she goes, leaving the refrigerator opened again. Oh. This thing flies great. Can you tell when I'm concentrating? Little bit. Oh! Look at the hang time! Oh my god! Oh shit! Oh! Oh! I got away with murder on that. Oh! It's also, you know what's interesting that I just noticed? It's harder to catch these and not crash. When I hit something, the slower, it makes sense because the slower response time makes it harder for me to make a correction and not hit something. Hope that makes sense. This is really fun to fly now with these bi-blades. Come on, chill out. Chill. Chill. Oh! It's almost a good mirror flip. Almost. Ah! I didn't let it drop down enough. Oh, come on now. Oh, I thought I could sneak it right below the little part of that light. Ooh, it just grazed that. That was cool. Woo! Oh, no! Oh! Oh! Oh, he got me cornered! Look at that runtime, yo. 3 minutes and 40. I did over-discharge the battery a little bit. Weebleed 0702, 32,500 kV motors. They are just such a beautiful mix of, like, just enough power and mega efficiency. So I did, what, like a dozen full room, full throttle power loops in the living room with this and that battery. It's just crazy. So there you go. That's what overpropped and a little bit less overpropped looks like. I hope that you could see the difference between the two. These 1.4-inch builds are really interesting. You can't do these on a 2G4. It's too heavy, and it's not cut down. You can't use this Meteor 65 Pro frame on a on an AIO that has straight sides. It has to be one of these AIOs that have the cut down sides, because they move the duct in, and so the duct eats up some of that space. So yeah, there aren't a lot of AIOs that will work on this. If you're going to do one of these builds, also you have to keep it lightweight. If this build is like, let's see what this weighs. But like, if you get up into the 18 gram range, it starts to kind of fall apart. How is this one 19.1 grams? Okay, if it gets up deep into 19 grams, it's going to be tough. I thought this was lighter than that. Maybe it's the other one that's lighter than that. This antenna does not help this build at all, but this antenna is direct soldered to this AIO. The UFL broke off of this AIO, and I direct soldered this antenna, and so it's in there forever. This antenna is like 1.1 grams, I think. So I could easily get this down to the 18s, maybe even the 17s, with a super lightweight antenna. And I kind of wish that I did have that set up on it, but alas, here we are. I don't know why this ELRS antenna acts so weird, but boy, does it act strange sometimes. I gotta route it a little bit differently, I think. But yeah, there you go. There's a nice discussion about choosing the right prop for the motor. I guess I forgot to kind of mention that, like, what overpropped is referring to is too big and too heavy of a propeller for the amount of power that the motor makes. And so what happens is you lose response time. The PID loop speeds up and slows down the motors very quickly, 4,000 times a second sometimes. And so the lighter weight propeller always wins. Fuck it, I'm glad that this happened. God, I hate myself. And so yeah, when you have a setup that's overpropped, you'll notice it when you do hard yaw moves. You'll jam the sticks and you'll expect it to snap around, and it'll just like softly come around. You can try to push the PIDs to help with that, but there'll be a point where you can't push the PIDs any further and it still won't be sharp. When you fly a 1.2-inch build and then a 1.4-inch build, boy, is that obvious. Like, you really get to see what response time or a lack thereof kind of feels like. With these bi-blades, it's way better, though. This is much a much closer flight experience to what you get from a 1.2, which is what we want. You know, we don't want to have to have a separate set of muscle memory for each individual build.
Gotcha, bitch! Guaranteed chocolate explosion.
License to Drive says, put a small drumstick attached to a servo and a quad and do an FPV drum solo. Ms. Jizu says, I saw a guy that is racing 75mm HD0 Whoop, but with the light VTX and 3-in-1 AIO. Apart from that, do you think building similar as an outdoor quad is worth? I have a light 65mm and two 2.5-inch 2S quads. Not really. HD0 doesn't make any sense to me outside. The way that it breaks up is really hard to fly through. And, like, it never seems to have... It always seems to break up more than analog. Like, if you look at, like, an HD0 100 milliwatt and then an analog 100 milliwatt build, the analog build is always so much easier to fly through the breakup, and it seriously seems like there's less breakup. So I would rather just do an analog build for flying outside. It's going to be way less expensive. You're going to get way better flight performance because you don't have a second board on there. It's going to be way more durable. And yeah, it's like HD0 for me only really makes sense for like indoor racing where you need that slightly better quality video. I don't know why it made that noise. I didn't see anything pop up. FizzPV says, "Can I use those for a song?" Absolutely. There's a post with the tag audio on my Patreon from about a week ago with the sound packs. FizzPV says, also has all the songs from the show as background music. Yeah, all of Fizz's songs are in here as well. Are in the second sound pack as well. Yuke says, last 2G4 didn't die. It was one of my tree topper motors. That doesn't surprise me. 2G4s are invincible. Sporny says, have you seen the clip where someone power loops into his head with a 5-inch? Yep. Gross. Uriel says, you're making a TikTok hype now. Would be fun. Nope, I will never be on TikTok. That service can go to hell. Sear says 5-inch hand launch from noob to nub, 10K clicks. To nub. Nice. P. Richard Scott's in the house. What's up, homie? And I'm caught up. There you go. You got here just in time for me to stop. I'm gonna shoot you a text in a little bit, Patrick. We gotta hang next week and do some more smashing. Thanks for hanging, friends. CiottiFPV.com to support me. The HD0 Gamma 45 amp AIO fund is cooking. Maybe we can try that out on my frame. See if those 1504 Spinny Boys motors are bad or good. Yeah. Thanks for hanging. Be good. Here comes some more.
Guaranteed chocolate explosion.
There we go. And a little bit of. Oh wait! Hey, stop it. Why is this?
Here's the juicy stuff. Hold on, I gotta do a thing. Holy hell! Holy hell! Horizon mode on. Horizon mode or something. Hurry up, you bastard! I have to take the walk of shame. I'm an old school FPV donkey.
There we go. Here's some more 04 light 2-inch 2S gyro flow stabilized footage. Let me do the thing again. I'm going to put the one on the left side of the screen for you and the one on the right side of the screen for the little outro. The gyro flow stabilized is going to be 16:9. The non-gyro flow stabilized is going to be 4:3. And so let me put them over here. And we're going to go like this. And we're going to go over here like this. Play that for 1 second. Play this. Pause it. There you go, friendos. I will see you on Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, let me click through here. Click here. And 1, 2. There we go. See you guys Sunday. Have an excellent weekend.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy Spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, they zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Shotties on sticks, Teddy's on paws, side by side legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen over couch scale terrain, backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz fuel fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Shotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy. Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends sing it loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.